people, after watching that video, I want you to share with me what you think. Drop your comments about what you feel and how about that. Of course, the first video is when KUSH and LiNET had just spent about 2 years in the YouTube streets, and of course they were struggling, but they were thinking already of moving from the rental houses to owning a house. That is something that was very strategic, right? There are people who begin making money on YouTube, but they'll stick in the city and they'll still continue to pay rent. However, for this couple, the reason why people are fighting them is that they were very strategic and they had a very logical way of dealing with bills. So they decided that Kenya is not friendly with rental houses. So at this point, they were struggling to build their own house so that they can relocate from the rental house. Now, why do you think many people fight LiNET and KUSH? Many people did not expect that this couple, as young as they are, could have moved from zero to hero. They did not expect that this couple would have a very interesting life that is not dramatic. Unlike many YouTubers on the streets, they have stayed away from drama. Even if their life has any drama, nobody knows because people speculate. However, there is no evidence on the streets about their troubles. Now remember when KUSH and LiNET came about to do a video about Clarice, people blamed them a lot for revealing personal information. Partly it might be wrong, but you ask yourself, because of what LiNET was experiencing through Clarice, who was sharing a lot with Masubo One and the entire rescue team, if she had not decided to do what she did with KUSH, what more would Clarice Africa Life have come up to reveal? So I think somehow I back up this couple for having come up and revealed what they did. Even in court, I believe they can have all evidence as to why they had to come about and address this, since Clarice had not accepted to settle things behind the camera. Remember, they came on camera. Clarice said that nothing was wrong. They are going to work together. She is well with the AVL. She has no problem. But then, a day or two later, she came about to begin again talking against her word. Genuinely speaking, without being sentimental and leaving the feelings alone. If you are KUSH and LiNET, what would you have done in that state? What would you have done? I would have done the same thing that KUSH and LiNET did. People keep insisting that they should bring more receipts. But I think people on the streets really want drama. They want to push you and feel that you are pushed. However, KUSH and LiNET have become very different people to deal with. They decided to use silence. Silence is the most powerful weapon in this world. If people are fighting you and you decide to keep quiet, they'll even be mixed up. That is why you are seeing that on the streets, the rescue team and any other minion behind them have decided to create stories that do not exist because they no longer understand what LiNET, K, and KUSH are after. Alright, so let's look at that video briefly when KUSH and LiNET were struggling. No one bothered about them. Those times they could create 1.4 thousand views, sometimes they go to 10,000 and more before they went to Marwa, did what we call the shout out and got views. And of course, if you've been following LiNET's video, she has never come after anyone apart from what the drama happened recently. And of course, if you are open-minded, you understand why it had to come about. The Bible always says, a fruit that will bear must always be attacked. You know, the pineapple has the best fruits, but can you see it is thorny? It survives around the thorns. Anyway, let's look at this.
Yeah, well packed and ready to go home. Hey, you know you will sit there. But we'll see. Okay, maybe, okay, we'll see how we'll go home. You want to experiment? Eh? You'll enjoy the breeze. And root home. Is that west? Now we're going to cut it. I need my scissors. Just let your partner. See that? No, we don't want anything to come where it's not.
Well, I believe you've watched that video and you can agree with me that if you look at the milestone LiNET, K and KUSH have achieved, these are very focused people who avoid drama. The only drama that has got into their basket is the recent one that was started with Coco Mama. Out of envy, out of fights, out of battles, endless battles. Why do I say this? Coco Mama has not rested since she started attacking LiNET. Now she has avoided to address any other matter, and she has even promised that she's not going to talk about Jihan Sharif because there are some subscribers who felt like she has also to address how Jihan Sharif is using the villagers and children in her foundation. Do you know what Coco Mama told them? She told them that it's not her business. If you are watching Jihan Sharif and you are seeing anything, react. Of course, she knows most of those people who are dropping comments, they are not even YouTubers. So she said, you go and react, because for her, it is her business to deal with LiNET. Now, of course, I begin to accept what other people on the streets feel. They feel like Coco Mama is quite stressed with the progress in LiNET K and KUSH life. And therefore, she's waving all the narratives. Can you imagine? Yesterday, she waved a narrative saying LiNET K found KUSH when she is already having a child, and therefore that child is not hers. Coco Mama, where do you come from? Where do you come from? Because Africa, children belong to the community. You can move from one marriage with 2 children, get married to another person, and those children will belong to that person. It is mutual agreement. Were you there when the 2 of them were meeting? Even if that child, as you are saying, is not found in their midst. Did you hear KUSH complaining? They are comfortable with their life. So, can you leave them alone? Because, who knows? You once said that even the things you talk about are what you practice. What if your own children are not your husband's? You came up in this video to even show us something about your husband and so forth. But KUSH and LiNET are very much okay. Did you see the yesterday's birthday? If you missed, let us go right to it and see. Are these people who are really complaining about managing to feed the children? Even if LiNET had come with 2 kids or 3 outside this marriage, do they look like people would be complaining about a child? You know, it is only a mother who knows where a child is born. And when the man who chooses to stay with her is comfortable with the child, nobody has the right to complain. Anyway, let's look at the birthday because it was so interesting. I was so excited. I was really inspired to see people who came from zero to be celebrating such a big event. Let's look at this. Whenever all the stars Okay, we can proceed, guys. So now, I want you to tell me one reason why we'd fight these people. These people are happy, excited together. As a couple, they have no problem. The wife, of course, was even gifting the husband in the birthday. CHARLOW KUSH said this was the most fundamental party that he had ever had. When two people have happiness and you're coming in between, even the Bible says, do not go in between people who are married and they're together. If you're not happy in your own, spare it for others so that they have their interesting moments. So there was no need of Coco Mama, for example, to come up and begin targeting LiNET K and CHARLOW KUSH. Apart from what the streets have shown, there can be no other better reason. So when you look at the yesterday's birthday moments and the entire thing, of course I've just shown a little bit of it. What do you feel? You drop your comments based on what you think and what you saw. Because sometimes you wonder what is the problem with people. And I'm only addressing Coco Mama's situation here. We have many people who are actually turning away from the main script of JT and court case, Clarice, and the rescue they are supposed to offer. And instead of focusing on that, they are now diverting attention to fight LiNET K all along. And let me let you know that you are going to fail big time. You cannot fight the chosen ones. LiNET K and CHARLOW KUSH are chosen. Look at where they came from and where they are. When you talk about greed, which greed? When you hire people and you pay them based on how much expensive maybe your business is running. How is that greed? It doesn't make sense. Make me see sense in your arguments. At least make me see sense. Or else, up to now, I don't see sense in your arguments at all. Yeah, guys, keep subscribing to this channel. We've a bad for you. We continue dropping our videos every blessed day. Otherwise, bye-bye.